Time to take your wealth to the next level. Welcome to Learn Wealthy, your go-to channel for real estate insights, market charts, and golden opportunity. Let's build wealth.
Hey everyone, welcome to Learn Wealthy, where we break down the latest trends in finance, real estate, and economics. I'm your host, James Santiago. Today's episode is going to be juicy. We're diving into a critical economic signal that often gets overlooked when companies' revenues are falling. While most people focus on profits, declining revenues might be a much stronger indicator of a looming recession. Let's break it down. The basics: revenue versus profit. First, let's clarify the difference between revenue and profit. Revenue is the total income generated by a company from its core operations, often referred to as the top line. Profit, on the other hand, is what's left after all expenses are deducted from revenue, often called the bottom line. When revenues start to decline, it's usually a sign that demand for a company's production or services is weakening. This is often one of the first cracks in the economic foundation that can lead to broader problems down the road. Part 2. Why revenue declines are more concerning than profit declines. So why should we be more concerned with revenue declines than profit declines? Here are 3 key reasons. Number 1, revenue is a leading indicator. Revenue declines are often the first sign that a business is struggling to maintain its market position. When consumers or businesses cut back on spending, it directly impacts sales. This can happen well before a company's profits start to take a hit, because businesses often cut costs to protect profitability. Number 2, cost cutting can mask problems. Companies can maintain or even increase their profits for a while by cutting costs, laying off workers, or streamlining operations. However, these measures are usually unsustainable in long term. A business that's cutting costs to maintain profits while revenues are falling is like a ship taking on water. It might stay afloat for a while, but it's ultimately sinking. Broader economic implications: when multiple companies across different sectors report declining revenues, it's a strong signal that economic activity is slowing down. This can lead to a vicious cycle of reduced consumer spending, lower business investment, and eventually a recession. Part 3. Case studies. Real-world examples. Let's look at some real-world examples where revenue declines were early indicators of economic trouble. The 2008 financial crisis, or the GFC. During the early stages of the 2008 financial crisis, many companies saw revenue declines, well before profits took a hit. This was particularly true in the retail and manufacturing sectors, where declining consumer demand led to lower sales and eventually widespread layoffs and cost cutting. The tech sectors. The tech sector of 2022 and 2023. More recently, tech giants like Meta and Google reported slowing revenue growth due to reduced ad spending, a bellwether for economic slowdown. While these companies managed to maintain profitability through aggressive cost cutting, the revenue slowdown was an early warning sign of broader economic challenges. Part 4. What to watch. So, how can you use this information as an investor or simply to understand where the economy is headed? Keep an eye on quarterly earnings reports, specifically the revenue figures. Are companies reporting flat or declining revenues? Is this happening across multiple sectors and multiple industries? Another thing to watch is forward guidance from companies. If executives are lowering their forward revenue expectations, it's often a sign that they anticipate tougher economic conditions ahead. Here are examples of major US companies that have experienced declining revenues. Disney reported declining revenues in its traditional TV networks segments, including ESPN and ABC, due to cord cutting and lower advertising sales. Despite growth in its streaming services, these gains haven't fully offset the losses in its legacy media operations. Intel faced significant revenue declines in 2023 due to a slowdown in PC sales and challenges in its data center business. The company reported a 32% year-over-year revenue decline in the first quarter of 2023. Facebook. Meta reported its first ever revenue decline in Q2 of 2022, driven by reduced ad spending and increased competition from platforms like TikTok. This decline continued in subsequent quarters as the digital advertising market slowed down. Amazon's revenue growth significantly slowed down in 2022 to 2023, particularly in its e-commerce segment, as consumer spending patterns shifted post-pandemic. Although its cloud business, AWS, continued to grow, it wasn't enough to compensate for the broader slowdown. Google's parent company, Alphabet, saw a decline in its advertising revenue in 2023, driven by reduced spending from advertisers and increased competition. This marked one of the few times in its history that the company experienced a dip in ad revenue. These examples highlight how even the largest and most successful companies are not immune to broader economic challenges, with declining revenues often signaling deeper issues in the economy. Here are more recent examples of major U.S. companies experiencing declining revenues which could signal economic challenges. Boeing. Second quarter of 2024, Boeing reported a 15% revenue decline, driven by reduced aircraft deliveries and supply chain issues. Comcast's second quarter 2024 fell by 1.4% year over year, primarily due to declines in its video and advertising segments. Six Flags saw a 3% drop in attendance in second quarter of 2024, contributing to lower revenues compared to the previous year. In summary, while profit declines get all the headlines, it is the revenue decreases that can quietly signal a recession on the horizon. Don't be fooled by a short-term profit stability if revenues are trending down. That's a red flag you don't want to ignore. If you found this analysis helpful, make sure to hit the like button, share it with others who are interested in economics, and leave a comment down below with your thoughts on revenue trends and their impact on the economy. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest videos. Thanks for watching and see you all in the next one.